Straight stuff. Got it. Hello, I was gone for a while. Here's why. Through a recent series of events, I discovered an interesting case for this series. Something to spice up the format. As I mentioned in my prior video, assuming this scheduling went in order, I recently binged the unfiction series Stockroach, which led me to this ditty of a song by Snakeskin. Snakeskin is an indie fuzz rock or noise rock band who I think is a singer-songwriter. There's also a metal band called Snakeskin. I don't know what they're like. I don't think they're related. I listened to their 2018 album Hangnail for this video. It was great. A noisy and anxious album with great melodies. Filled with songs and formats and styles I've never heard before. Well, I liked it. As for Stockroach, it's a series about a teenage boy pretending to be a middle-aged finance manager / finance guru influencer,
etc., and vice versa, which is Cash Money introduction.
And generally just being hilarious.
Of YouTube channel where there is both a game to play and a sort of, there's a thing where there's like a mysterious aspect to a, we're gonna look at the definition real quick. Okay, so ARG was, is a village, a faraway village in somewhere called Rena. Okay, it's like it's Rena, like Rena, Nevada, and this is where the first ARG was created and played.
This is not a video dissecting the Stockroach, but you should check out the series, nor about Snakeskin, who I discovered a month ago, though I wouldn't mind doing a video on some of those songs one day. There certainly isn't any band like Snakeskin, but given their anonymity and quiet presence, I suspect his band is obscure merely because they just are. I didn't hunt for any info on them, but that album was great enough to surprise me. I didn't recognize it from anywhere. One of those ultra-rare gems. As for Mr. Roach, what surprised me about it was how interesting it was. You see these internet veterans like Chris Straub, Adam Butcher, and Anamade who seem like naturals at the internet mystery format with years of experience, and here comes this guy filming his Mac and somehow creating one of the most captivating series. I mean, realistically, it's a simple story about a nervous teen learning to find his confidence, fitting given the band the character latched onto. I have to assume the author as well. There are a lot of motifs through the series, especially musical motifs, which build up to this grand finale and musical piece. It is really inspiring to hear these pieces come together, but we're not talking about that one. As you can see, this is a cover v cover, a series I have drastically neglected where we compare covers. In the series, Stockroach's protagonist takes interest in the band Snakeskin and even does a cover of their song Alone in a Crowded Room. The original Snakeskin song is a fuzz guitar acoustic song about loneliness, living in a world filled with people at every corner, yet it seems hollow and pointless at that every moment. It starts out numb and tired before erupting into a loud, suppressed chorus towards the end. The narrator finds themselves wanting to ask if the person beside them shares this feeling of a strange emptiness, but can't. Almost giving away the feeling because in order to feel this way, they have to be alone. By sharing it with somebody, they can't feel that unique sense of isolation, or worse, if they share it, they will be mocked and dismissed. As the ending piece explains,
that this is what you meant by alone in a crowded room.
Surrounded by minds as complex as you, almost as if you're the one out by not being the hero in the narrative, yet so alone and not being able to share that importance. I also think it's fitting that they put it in second person, either talking to the narrator as if this universal loneliness is shared, or by a friend who shared this sensation. To share this sense of complete isolation and loneliness. The ending breakdown feels profound with that realization, that unless they reach out and share that feeling, it will continue forever. I like the song. I think it's pretty good. It shares that sense of loneliness and desire to share it, but also the fear and rejection and the fear that unique feeling will fade, that you'll lose your humanity in it. There's a quote at the end of the game, How Fish is Made, about having that sense of pain and loneliness, aimlessness in a world filled with people who share that feeling, yet expressing it almost seems like a taboo. It grew on me while writing this portion, especially listening to the single version. There's a lot to pick apart. Sometimes the world does feel lonely, even though there are literally billions of us. We try to share that pointlessness, but sometimes it feels like everyone is talking and nobody is listening. Society. Strangely, the cover version isn't that different. Sort of.
Alright, what's up, Moneygrubs? This is the Stockroach. I'm very sorry that I have been away for a little while, but it's just...
Mostly the protagonist just does a mixture of guitar and piano with harmonies. He does the cover first, but later does an interview with the singer-songwriter of Snakeskin, which he flubs, and when he does a cover with her, it all goes horribly wrong. This happens a lot in the series. He puts his heart out and tries extremely hard, only for everything to crumble down. There are connections to the song. The narrator pushes people away, feeling lonely and isolated, while sharing that projection alongside the author.
There's a time in your life when you are expecting someone to reach out. Like maybe, for example, you're waiting to receive a phone call.
As a side note, I do hope Snakeskin was involved in the plot and not just used without being told. I'm not a fan of taking advantage of people and taking advantage of their emotions to make a bit. I at least hope they were in on it on some level and not just used, ironic given this video. That would make this video suck. I don't know what involvement Snakeskin had in the series. I'm gonna assume it was the same as some of the other people who helped. I mean, I watched it. It's not really a series that's open to that. Moneygrub of the Month, Along in a Crowded Room by Snakeskin, is the cover Stockroach does of the Snakeskin song. God damn it. The bad spelling is a part of the series, by the way. It's an episode where they lament not being reached out by the people who care about them, and them finding love in a song that shows that feeling is shared.
Someone who has always been there for me, and that's a song called Alone in a Crowded Room by Snakeskin.
You know, it's kind of just a part of them being a kid growing up, finding connections in art. It's an early episode that shows that failure in full. The recordings are interrupted by their dog, they get calls from the people they want to isolate from, and the software crashes. Everything goes wrong at every moment. It just keeps getting worse and worse. It seems their attempt to express this loneliness is constantly interrupted and ignored by, and for, other people, ironically those reaching out to him. The original composition is great as a rock song, though I'm numb to that because I only listen to noise rock. From somebody who doesn't dabble much in singer-songwriting and acoustic cuts, the guitar and piano works in this angle beautifully. So take that and you will. Snakeskin singing works better for that contrast where the ending chorus explodes, starting very numb before growing wild. The original song works great for being grungy and depressing. It succeeds in being isolated and defeated, where the softer tones of the cover make it more vulnerable.
Okay, here's the real one.
4. I'd like to see you try and draw the line between stubbornness and strength.
Sorry, that's actually the intro again. Okay, here's the song.
The added harmonies Oh, right, the dog. You get moments of this skill through the flumps, even him having to check the lyrics of the song. An ambulance plays over the song as he wails to get over it. Right as the program crashes, he improvises and swoops in with the guitar.
Hold on. This is what you meant by alone in a crowded room. This is what you meant by alone in a crowded room. This is what you meant by alone in a crowded room.
Continuing on, and it feels so fucking glorious. I don't know how to describe it, but having him be able to carry on despite the failures here just feels so right. In other videos in Stockroach, the failures hurt. You see him try extremely hard and fall at every moment, but this video feels triumphant. Fitting given how early it is and, how it progresses. The original feels inviting to share that sense of loneliness in a ton of angles, and perhaps that limit is that the song is a song. The angle of that song integrated with this storytelling is wildly creative. I'm not going to listen to it again, but it's cathartic to watch somebody overcome an unending barrage of interruptions, even if it is kind of absurd and a little funny. Of course, the original song is the original song. It's not part of an underlying series. However, it is so fascinating how the medium in both these songs manage to portray the same ideas in such different ways. Snakeskin's song feels cluttered and stuffy, the guitar is harsh and loud, and the vocals are muted up until the breakdown. The emotionless singing, the style of alternative music, paired with the sudden uptake in emotion shows that sense of frustration, that sense of suppression on the verge of exploding outwards. The song feels cluttered because it portrays a literal crowd, with the person still feeling alone and lost. The cover, on the other hand, relies on acoustic piano and guitar in its construction, losing that alternative creation in favor of performance, which is how you get the additions in it. The narrator feels lonely and isolated even amidst their loud dog and ambulance and calls from somebody. People are reaching out to them, but in a twist, they cut it off and remain isolated to focus on expressing that loneliness. Up until the breakdown where nothing interrupts them because the moment they express that feeling, honestly, no one. It's not really a version of the song, barely a cover, but I wanted to cover it. Laugh. Because the original song is really good. It feels like it understands what it's like to have that sense of loneliness, but also that acknowledgement that they aren't alone. The cover isn't incredible, but in the context of the series and how it uses that medium, I could not believe how surprisingly smart it was. Which is really how I feel about most of Stockroach. I should clarify too, I don't mean to use Snakeskin as like a stepping stone. I'm not here to just be like, look at this song versus what I like. It's the one worry I had for the series that awoke during the Fast Car video. However, both versions did awaken something I didn't realize. It's not necessarily that the bland "you're alone but not" trope is overdone, it's that the people who use it mostly have security. It's easier to say you're not alone when you aren't alone and never felt that way, especially around a crowd of people. What doesn't get brought up is that, yeah, you aren't alone, but that doesn't mean you feel welcome. The rough lower guitar distortion, the tired vocals leading into a loud breakdown, and the song about having somebody there who doesn't really recognize you. It sounds like a song to be sung by everyone in a small bar, and even amidst that unity, all those people are only together for that song. Once it's over, they are back to being on their own. No matter how many connections you build with people, you're still stuck with yourself. The Stockroach series feels like it comes from somebody who tries hard but doesn't see their victories. They only see the obstacles. Hangnail has a lot more than Alone in a Crowded Room. Some of those songs just lit up my brain while listening to it. There aren't many albums like it. This song could have just failed and the program could have crashed with Roach giving up, but in all the videos he doesn't stop. He doesn't just rage quit and give up. He could have given up and quit at the attempts, but the fact he swooped in to finish the cover despite all that got in the way shows that he can improvise at the worst moments. He can open up and make it work. Both versions show it's okay to feel stuck, but it can matter. There is something to take from it. This is what I fell into, not only when I got really sick, but also during that period where I was coming to terms with some news in my life. It took a while to grow in me, and I'm still not sure what that spark is, but I'm gonna hold on to it.